What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Captain Cody Davis here with you guys again for another one, and got something pretty exciting to showcase to you guys here in this video. Something that's been in the works with the team over at Senko Sticks for quite some time now, and I believe as this video is dropping, these are going to be dropping on the website as well, which means they're going to be available to you guys. Alex, Jenna, and Sam are constantly innovating, constantly thinking up new ideas. And a big mission of Alex's since the beginning was to try and come up with a still hand-built, USA-made, still premium, but more budget-friendly rod for his lineup. And that's just something that he's just been constantly working on. And when he finally got these prototypes in and got these finished up, he was super excited about how they came out. I know that I got a couple of them, and a couple of other people, field testers, if you will, got a hold of them, and I believe the feedback has been great. I know it has been on my end, and just wanted to showcase these to you. So what we've got here is this is the Dominator series of rods from Senko Sticks. Obviously, I'm going to be a fan of them because they're totally murdered out, just all black. Jen over there did an awesome job with the decal, the design here on the butt section looks super cool. But other than that, it's just a totally matte, blacked out rod here, which I'm a fan of. All my custom rod builders in the saltwater world and in the past, and even the rods Alex builds me, complains that I just want everything blacked out. But I just think it looks super simple, super sleek, and looks super cool. As of now, they're just going to be launching 2 different models. So what you got here, this is the 7'1" medium heavy, and then the one that I've got here, this is a 7'5" heavy. The 7'1", this is going to be your all-purpose, if you just want one fishing rod to do a little bit of everything, this is what Alex was aiming for when designing this, and I believe he nailed it. As far as anything single hook-wise is the way I would put it to you guys. This rod can do it. You can throw a spook on this, a big walking bait. You can throw a spinner bait. It's perfect for pitching around a little stick bait or a little gambler fat ace. I was throwing the burner worm on this. It's a great little frog rod. Like I said, you can get away doing anything and everything with this rod. A big thing he was talking about was this is the perfect rod to leave in your truck if you're trying to stop at a canal or a pond on your way home from work. It's the perfect rod for that. But I've been, testing it out on Lake Okeechobee over the last couple of weeks, and I have nothing but great things to say about it. I caught a couple fish popping a frog with it. Worked absolutely fine. Again, like I said, throwing a burner worm around reeds, it worked great. My favorite thing to do with it, and Alex told me this from the get-go, but it took me a while to actually pick it up, was just pitching around this little gambler fat ace to isolated reeds. Like I said, I've played around with a little bit of everything. It's a medium heavy. I believe he has it as a medium heavy fast. He does. So it is a little bit stiff for a crankbait or a rattle trap style bait, but that might be a project that's in the works next with this line of rods. But as far as anything that you're going to be pulling into the fish with, like the baits I mentioned, this thing will do it. I fished it with braid, and I fished it with, I've got 20-pound fluoro on here. And like I said, it's performed great with all of them. Another cool thing, not just this rod, but the 7'5" has in common as we get into that one. I don't know how to explain it. I mentioned it to Alex, but they have a really crisp, really symmetrical is not the word I'm looking for, but just a real good taper to the bend of the rod. I'm sure you probably can't see, but when you load this rod, it literally starts from the first guide and just does a perfect round bend. A lot of different series of rods or different blanks or what have you, the bend will actually kind of start from like the 3rd or 4th guide down. In certain scenarios, this one rolls right from the tip straight down, which I don't know, I'm a big fan of, especially when I'm dragging a worm or flipping something on fluoro or mono. I really want that whole rod to load on the hook set, and just when fighting the fish around close quarters around the boat, and both of these seem to do that. The 7'5" heavy, the reason they went with this model, this type of blank and this action, is he wanted this just to be kind of your do-it-all grass rod, right? When you're fishing 50, 65-pound braid, that's what you want this rod for. You can flip with it. I forget what it's actually rated to. I know I was flipping a 3/4 ounce on it, so it's rated up to 1.5 ounces. You can flip mats with this. You could flip a big jig. Awesome big easy rod. I was throwing the NLB and K-tail on this for a while as well. It obviously had the backbone to get those fish out of the thick cover, but it just throws the baits perfectly. Loads up great throwing that style bait. Big easy, the K-tail, even the easy swimmer. You can use this for popping a frog. I popped a frog on it for a little bit. A swim jig even. It's a little bit of a stiffer tip for what I prefer for a swim jig, but then a lot of the other people I talked to and some of my customers that threw it loved it for a swim jig. Throwing a 1/2 ounce swim jig, I caught a few fish on that as well. Worked great. Like I said, so from flipping, frogging to swim baiting, you could do it with this rod. I know some other people were actually using it with 20-pound fluorocarbon, throwing a Carolina rig and things, and said they loved it for that. So it's user preference, but either way, both these rods are going to start, or they're going to be priced at $199.99. So a $200 price point for a premium fishing rod, hand built here in the USA. You're really not going to be able to beat that. One of the biggest things, or the biggest differences that you might pick up on from the Dominator series versus like the BTOs or some of the more high-end rods in the Senko Sticks lineup is going to be the overall weight of the rods. They are a little bit heavier weight-wise, and a big reason for that is because these are a mid-modulus blank. One of the biggest factors when designing these rods was durability. These wanted to be, Alex and his team wanted these to be rods that you can pick up, beat up on, and they're gonna stand through it. There's no fatigue. They're very well balanced, and they hold up great. When I used to work over at Bass Pro Shops, I had a gentleman tell me one time, a gentleman who actually got me the job there, he put it great. When people would come in looking for a fishing rod, he would ask, do you want it to be cheap, do you want it to be strong, or do you want it to be light? You can pick two of them, but you're never gonna get all three. And so always think of that when you're buying a fishing rod. These are very, very strong. Compared to a lot of the other hand-built rods in the industry, they are relatively cheap. So they're not going to be feather light. But like I said, you'd have to pick them up and try them out. They're very, very comfortable to fish with. And I really don't think you're going to beat them. The other thing that they did is they went with the Seaguide reel seats and Seaguide guide train on these rods. So you guys know that they preach a lot of using Fuji components on pretty much all their rods. But they went with a little bit less expensive guide train and reel seat for these to help save costs, to be able to offer them to you guys for a cheaper price. And this is also a move that a lot of other high-end rods in the industry are doing. I know St. Croix and G. Loomis have gone to some of these guides as well. And actually a few of my snook rods, I believe, have the Seaguide guide trains on them and have absolutely nothing to complain about with them. They're still a very strong, very lightweight guide. But obviously, if you go up to the BTO or even a custom rod, or even the expansion series from Senko Sticks, they are still using those Fuji guides all the way through, reel seats and all that. But these things are great. I can't wait. I'm probably going to order a few more of these, use them as my guide rods again, because they are super durable, yet they are still super comfortable to fish with, and I really just love the looks of them. So probably get out there. I haven't filmed with these yet because I just had the prototypes, and they were still tinkering with some of the little odd ends there they wanted to wrap up, but I believe these are going to go live on the site as you guys are seeing this video. Again, a $200 rod. I've had a lot of you guys saying, man, I really want to try these Senko Sticks out, but I just don't want to spend $400 or $250 or whatever it is. $200 price point for an American built rod is really, really hard to beat right now. So can't say enough great things about these, really, and I've been nothing but happy with them. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact info is below, or just send an email over to Senko Sticks, DM them on Instagram, Facebook, however, and they can answer any questions that you might have. Or if you want to try these rods for yourself, you want to book a trip with me, if you want, ask. They will be in the boat. You can bring them, or I can bring them with, and you guys can try to boat flip some 7 and 8 pounders on Okeechobee to try them for yourself. Hopefully you guys like them. I'll see you guys on the next one.